What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Salud Cabrones podcast. I am Danny Villegas.
And I am Javier Ledesma.
And before we get started, we ask you to like, comment, subscribe, and share the Salud Cabrones podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And follow us on all social media platforms at Salud Cabrones podcast. And don't forget to hit up Pro Wrestling Tees and grab yourself some Salud Cabrones podcast merch, as you can be rocking. Support. Don't hate, participate. Come on now.
Oh, they're at it. I think they can even hop on.
You can even get a Bad Hombre Cartel one, too. Either one.
See, baby.
Just grab one. Man, Javier.
What's up,
man?
We
got a special one today, bro. They're all special, like you always say.
Yeah, they're all special. But this one's special in a different sort of way.
Sort of way, huh? Nah, brother. We got one of the wrestling brothers in the house with us today, man. Young Latino cat making a name for himself in the independent wrestling circuit, man. We see him doing big things. He's already doing big things, man, with these matches he's been having, bro. We're talking about Mr. Koda Hernandez in the building with us. Yo, come on, give it up one time.
Yo, what's up, y'all?
Hey,
I
man.
appreciate y'all having me out.
No.
I am very special, short but special.
Hey,
I think that didn't describe every single Latino, brother.
I think everyone in this room is short and special. No, man, thanks for coming hanging out with us, bro. We appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me on, man. I was telling you guys, man, this set's wild. My mind's like racing with all the stuff you guys got hanging up.
Oh, no, appreciate it.
What do you see that you like everywhere here?
I mean, dude, man, obviously the Magic signed 8x10 over there. Anyone who was Magic from Blood In, Blood Out. My dad put me onto that one. You got the Chavo hanging up. You got the Zilla. And you got all the horror stuff to my right and my left, which I'm a big fan of. So it's just a bunch of stuff to start making my mind race about what we can talk about.
So horror movies, so you're into that sort of stuff?
Dude, I used to be real scared of, like, Chucky when I was a kid. Like, we all know, my dad, one time, he knew I was scared of him. And I got in trouble. So he did is he locked me in the room and he threw the DVD case of Child's Play, which just has the cover of Chucky on there, and he had me sit in the room and just like look at it. And I was terrified of it.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fucking awesome.
That's hilarious.
I used to be so scared of, like, Chucky and Saw, and even like puppets. I was real just afraid of, which is crazy because I love Toy Story. So it's like it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But now I'm just growing. I love horror movies, man.
I've tortured some of my small cousins with all my horror love, man. I remember as soon as you said that story about your old man throwing the DVD and they started like bringing back memories. I remember, like, as kids, all your cousins always have like those sleepovers and whatnot.
Yeah.
I remember one time my cousin's little sister, she wanted to be attached to all of us. She was the little one, but all of us were out there like playing like Nintendo or Genesis, whatever. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Oh, I want to spend the night, because they're gonna spend the night." And I'm over here like, "Nah, man, it's just the boys."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she's like, "Nah, I gotta be." And I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna scare the shit out of her tonight." And so I remember, you guys remember those old starter jackets that didn't have a zip up, so they were just like a stiff body.
Yeah.
I put a broom right through it so that the arms could be like that, and I attached. My parents are tailors, so it was easy to get like string. So I went in there and I grabbed string, and we're all taking a nap. We're all sleeping at night. And I'm pulling on the string so the jacket would move. It looked like the arms were moving.
Damn, creative, dude. She was like creative, dude. Storyteller over here.
Yeah, she did not want to spend the night after that.
Dude, no, my neighbor, we were like real close when we were kids or whatever, but his dad's were into horror. So he had like all these figures like you got hanging up in one room, and he knew like I hated it, right? But in the basement where his gaming stuff was, so we would have to walk past that room every time to get to the games. And one time he's pushed me in there and closed the door. And I was like, oh, no.
Sounds like you were tortured by everyone back
everyone knew it. Now I love it, dude. So maybe I just needed it.
I think that's why I became a wrestler, bro. I gotta fucking man up now. Fuck this shit.
I got trauma that we gotta take out on people, bro.
Right?
Speaking of wrestling, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you said you started at 10 years old, you said, right?
So technically I started when I was 10 years old, right? So my dad was a backyard guy for a little bit, right? He used to mess around with his friend's backyard. And then one of his backyard boys actually turned to a wrestler. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His name was Iceman. Tim Norton, I believe.
Oh, he passed away not too long ago. Rest in peace. He was one of my guys.
Man. So he was cool with my dad, and Tim learned school was opening up, and my dad's like, "Hey, my son's birthday's coming up. Do you mind if for his birthday you guys let him run around the ring, show him some things, whatever it was?" I was like, so he's like, "Yeah, it's fine." So they brought me over. I got like to bump, hit the ropes, all the kid stuff. They showed me. But then for 2 weeks, I was begging my parents, like, let me go back, right? So then they're like, all right. So they asked for like a month. They let me come in for free, and I was like, no, I actually want to like do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my parents like, I don't think anyone's gonna let a 10-year-old train or wrestle, but then
unless you're in Mexico.
Yeah. But then like that was kind of the idea because the trainer time was Luis the Wrench Morales and Chris Massenkai, and they were like,
wow, that's a name.
Yeah.
I had my very first match against Chris.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was my very first match.
So he was my first original trainer, and they just had the same concept. Like luchas get to do all the time.
Yeah.
So like, let's just train them to actually be a wrestler. And then I had my first match when I was like 11, and then from 11 to 15 I wrestled. I went to high school. I stopped like with the wrestling deal, and I came back when I was 18. But like from 11 to 15, I was actually working shows.
Wow,
shit,
wow, that's
man.
nuts, man.
Damn. So you took your first bump at 10
Yeah,
years
my old name used to be, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, I used to be Kid Prodigy. That used to be my old wrestling name. I was like 11 to 15.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I've heard of that name before. Kid Prodigy?
Yeah, I was wrestling for like Just Pro Wrestling at the time, JPW.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I used to work. Where I used to first originally train at.
So during that time frame, you're a little kid and you're seeing some of the boys and being, the world of pro wrestling is opening up for you, so to speak. And then you take that break. When you come back, who's there to like welcome you back? Who remembers you during this time frame?
I mean, the crazy thing enough is all the people was crazy. I was from 11 to 15. I was training, right? So these 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds walk in and see this 13-year-old kid who knew more than them in wrestling, right? So I was the most seasoned guy there, so I would help teach these 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds. So when I come back till I'm 18, they're 30, but they still remember me. I'm just grown now. So they're a little bit confused now. They're like, oh my, like, little Koda's not so little anymore. He's like, he's an adult, but they still remember me as like their little brother. So I came in, it was like open arms deal. Like they are like, man, it's great to have you back. We missed you, man. Like they were very open arms to me and let me like fill me in on what's now going on with the world of wrestling. So I mean, it was honestly like I hear horror stories about people coming to wrestling young, but I was very protected. They like kept me away from all like the negative stuff. They're very, very good to me. They didn't like put me in any bad situations. Like I appreciate them for protecting me as much as everyone did.
What kind
That's
of advice
awesome.
is your dad giving you when you get into the business?
I mean, my dad just loves pro wrestling. So like for him, there was no like he was just he was just happy to see his kid wrestle because like he never got into it professionally. He just like did backyard with his friends messing around. So like he's also studying the same things we are, like I am, because he's now seeing it the professional way, the back stuff, the backstage stuff, the booking, the writing, all that stuff, and he's more like his eyes are open to it now, where he's more like involved in it and he can see it from a different perspective now. Where, let's say, like he used to shit on storylines, now he's like, oh, I get it now because I need to get here.
Yeah.
So his eyes are now open up to a different perspective of wrestling, where he appreciates it a little bit differently now because he's able to see all the stuff that goes into it rather than just you wrestle him, have a match. That's all it is.
It sounds like he's being smartened up, basically.
Yeah, smartened up.
He's getting to that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Had just happened to him a little later than he was supposed to. But
So I'm curious. So then, your dad brings you in. You're bumping around. doing the backyard stuff. Now, as you're getting in professionally, now are you the one teaching your dad some stuff?
No, he wishes, dude. He always wanted to learn. Nah, he wishes, dude. He wishes. He's like choke slammed me when I was 8 years older. He's like, how do I do it safely now? I'm like, nah, dude. I remember you choke slammed me unsafely when I was there. I don't do safely now. Dog, I can protect anyone. But nah, he was just more like in a fan's mode.
Yeah.
Like he was very just like, man, my son's like in the actual ring doing something like he wanted to do. But obviously, us, we know like when our parents come in, it's like you have kids. Like my dad had me when I was like, well, he and my brother, my older brother, when he was like 16.
Okay.
So like it was straight to work.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then my older sister when he was like 17, and then me when I was 18. So like he don't get to chase his dreams. He has to go.
Fucking true Mexican right there,
That's what I'm saying.
True Mexican right there.
Straight just to working, making sure it provides for the family. So like, sending my grandpa, big wrestling fan, but he immigrated from Puerto Rico, and my grandma immigrated from Mexico. They had my dad here, and it's like they don't have time to to chase dreams.
Exactly.
Like,
they got to
what I'm
work.
saying?
They got to work and provide for the family.
My grandpa made boxes for like 40 years in a factory, so that was his life. So
then when you started training professionally, where did you go to school at?
Like for wrestling school?
Yeah.
Just Pro Wrestling.
Just Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where I started training at.
when you made your comeback, is that when you started with freelance?
Yeah, that's where I started freelance because one of my previous people I knew, his name's Iverson. He was training at Just Pro Wrestling. he left to freelance, and then when I came back, I someone to come back, he's like, come to freelance, you'll get a whole different perspective and learn new things than going back to the original thing. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I went back.
Did you notice a difference in the new school from the previous one you went to?
So the thing is, when I was a kid, I was a fan of freelance because when I was like 14, 15, freelance had just started. So I was like, I knew who all these guys were, and I knew how good they were. So I'm like, when I went there, I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm getting trained by the people I watched, on the indie scene when I was a kid, and this is like a whole different perspective. But yeah, man, it was different. More like they honed in the footwork, the character work, all that stuff, man. A lot to them because they're going off the basis of now this is what you need to do to get here, right? Because even though it was like a little bit of time, we all know how much wrestling changes, landscape wrestling. So evolving is always the key to it. So that's why I went to freelance. I needed to evolve into something that I wasn't when I was 11 to 15.
Mm-hmm. And who were your trainer? Who's your trainers over at freelance?
It was Isaiah Velasquez.
Okay.
He was the head trainer there when I was there. So that's
I'm getting a lot of memory lane type shit here, man. Yeah. I'm feeling fucking old now.
Well, you are, bro. You just turned 52, dog. So.
I made Isaiah's feel real old because I saw him wrestle Ricochet at Vanguard. And at first day I showed up, I go, man, I saw you wrestle Ricochet. He goes, how old are you? I go, oh, 18. He goes, fuck.
It's like what I said right now. How old are you, bro? 23. Fuck. Damn.
That's hilarious, man.
So now as you're getting freelance, man, and you're progressing, like, do you notice a difference in what you're trying to accomplish from the first school you went to?
Yeah, because, like, when I was a kid, right, you just appreciate what you're, like, you're kids, so, like, everything feels amazing to you. No matter what match you have, it feels like it was a great match, whatever. But now I'm older, so now obviously I have a clear goal in mind. Like, I want to make it to, like, the higher end company, so it's more about doing things that would get me noticed, making sure I do say the right things in the right ears, making sure I put on the match that makes the most sense, making sure I put these details here, making sure I work with people who are better than me so I can keep improving, and making sure I get noticed, have a good... I mean, when I'm 10 or 15, I shouldn't have social media, Because
right.
I don't know what I'm going to post. I might post something really stupid.
Right.
But now it's like I'm very conscious of social media as well and making sure to get my image out there for everyone to know, like, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and making sure I keep that so that way if the big companies look, they're not like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I want to know immediately when they see it, this is Koda Hernandez. This is this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's crazy the world we live in where that's now a part of the process, Of
course.
I can't imagine, like, the Undertakers of the world, the Eddie Guerreros of the world, all these guys were like, oh, shit, we got to post the right thing.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Because, I mean, Taker, said that, obviously his podcast was, I wouldn't work in social media.
Yeah.
He's like, I just wouldn't work. He's like...
I heard him say that in his podcast.
It's true. Like, some of these guys just, like, I can't imagine Stone Cold tweeting during his run, like, I'm about to open a can of whoop ass, wouldn't feel the same as him saying on the live mic. You know what I mean? It would be like, all right, that's cool, I guess. You know what I'm saying? All caps, I'm a whoop a, it's like, whatever, dude.
And who were you watching, man, growing up? Like, who were your influences?
Man, Eddie, Ray, Chavo. I was a big TNA mark, like, huge as a kid, because it was on I think Thursdays when it was
Wednesdays.
on Spike, or was Wednesdays on Spike?
No, I'm sorry. The original, the $5 pay-per-views. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
That was Wednesdays.
Well,
then they moved to Thursdays. Yeah.
So I was watching it at my grandpa's place with my dad, and that's like Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Mojo. Because I'm a big cruiserweight fan, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like their X division and their heavyweight division kind of meshed in TNA, right? Because AJ would go for the big belt. Kurt was still moving like crazy back then too. You had Low-Key, you had Jay Lethal. But like when it came to like the smaller guys, like Eddie, Ray, I was a huge Brian Kendrick and Paul London fan when they were like together. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see them versus Motor City so bad, dude. Oh, yeah. That's like what I want to see. So I was real into like the smaller guys moving. I wasn't like, I didn't realize it, but the character work was also there for a lot of those guys. Yeah. Like Eddie and Ray, like character work was always there. But
Eddie is like the freaking huge hybrid of everything that you could actually want in a wrestler.
Exactly.
In a small body where he was going to be able to outwork you and then still give you all the character work, the comedic relief. I mean, that guy is like an all-around package.
Yeah, him and Kurt Angle are probably two of my like favorites because of whole packages. Because Kurt's the same way.
Yeah.
Shooter, but he can do a comedy spot. He can do live mic stuff. He's not scared to look like foolish. Like those guys, I didn't realize it as a kid, but now growing up, when I study them, it's like they are like the full package of what's going on.
I like what you said right there about Kurt Angle not being afraid to look foolish.
Mhm.
It's interesting because nowadays, one of the bad reps that this generation of wrestlers has is that they are afraid to look foolish.
No, absolutely, and I think that's a part of social media, right? Because like nowadays, like what no matter what you do, is gonna be seen by hundreds of thousands, not just 100, right? It's gonna go everywhere. So like a lot of these, like a lot of our new generation deal like the anxiety of it. You know, they don't really feel comfortable in themselves at sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it's all about like you can't take yourself too serious. You know, it's wrestling.
Right,
Like, and
exactly.
Like, the way I always explain, like the way I always see, like I am half naked wrestling someone like random, being someone I'm not every day.
Yeah.
So like I'm not serious no matter which way I look at it.
And they're also half naked.
Exactly. They're also half naked, right?
Let's not forget.
Yeah. So like I'm not serious no matter what. So like why take myself serious right now? Like just hang loose, man. You're doing what you love, like, right? We all loved it as a kid, so like why act serious now? That's my whole idea of it.
You got to take it serious in a certain way, but very unserious in another way.
Exactly.
It's a weird division where you got to know where the line is.
Exactly.
And some people nowadays, it's funny because when we go to the locker room, sometimes me and him talk about it. We're like, man, like it feels strange that some of these guys don't want to look bad because they're being beat up by somebody. They're trying to protect some sort of character, but we're like, no, we're telling the story here. Just relax and let it, play out.
Exactly. Exactly. Have fun, dude. Just like at the end of the day, like my thing to me is like I feel like a lot of us lose the kid in us, and that causes us to be too serious, right? Because when you're a kid, you love everything you do. No matter what you see, you love it, right? Like pro wrestling, we all love it as a kid, and it's like when we grow up, we want to be more adult about it. Like, oh, I didn't like that because it's not serious. It's like, dude, enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that 8-year-old you would love what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So why like put that little kid you were down to like seem serious around everyone else?
Yeah.
Like just be the kid that you were when you love this. Like don't lose that child in you, man. That's the worst thing.
And that's why it'll get me sometimes when people are like, if you're in the locker room and a name is on that card, and then you go and ask for a picture, they're like, oh, what a fucking mark. Well, we got in this business because we are marks.
Exactly.
That's the whole reason we got in this business, because we're marks.
Exactly.
We were marks as kids. Growing up, we love this shit and we still do.
Yep.
So to me, I always stick by that. Just always take that picture, man, because this is a once in a lifetime fucking deal.
When are you ever gonna see him again?
No.
When are you ever gonna get this opportunity again?
Right.
Life's so short, man. Like you never know if you're ever gonna run into these guys again.
Yeah.
So like.
And it's a memory you can have. A photo, you got a photo memory of something that happened that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like people are scared. Like I said, when there's a name on the show, they're scared to go say hello or talk to them. Like they're human beings, man.
Yeah.
Like the one thing I think people in real is like you don't have to talk to them about wrestling. Talk about anything, dude. They're real people. Like if you're scared that they're not gonna like talk about wrestling, talk about something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like learn the person, not the wrestler.
Yeah.
Like get to that point.
Exactly, dude. And it's funny because one time, I don't know if you were with Pal. No, I don't think you were with Pal yet. We when Pal had their first Wrestle Rage at the Odeum.
I was.
You were there?
Yeah.
When Jimmy brought in DX.
I wasn't at that show, but I know that was a part of it because I
Yeah.
did the Odeum after that because that's when I took that dive from Cairo.
Okay, yeah. So he brought in DX, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac. And it's funny, bro. We're sitting in the locker room. I think it was me and Ben Kanoa. I think we're sitting there, and then Road Dogg walks in with a fucking bag of Burger King. And and I was like, oh man, thanks, you didn't have to do that. He's like I didn't, and then it's Rough Crossing walks in. He tells Rough Crossing, hey man, he goes, you want a burger? And I stood up like, oh man, that's fucked up, bro. You're gonna offer the white guy burger but not the Mexican? You're fucking racist. Dude, he starts busting out fucking
that's what I'm
laughing.
saying, dude.
Billy Gunn walks in and goes, Billy, did you hear what this little fucking Mexican just called me? He just called me a fucking racist. And then Billy Gunn goes, well, you are. He's like, man. and then he looks at me like, all right, man, you want a burger? Oh, yeah, sure. You fucking want me a burger?
That's great, dude.
and then he was asking me, he's like, oh, because that night it was me and Kanoa in a TLC match. So he's like, oh, you got the TLC match, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, you guys got, and he's talking to me about it. You got good stuff planned. He's like, remember, he's like, we're going to entertain them. You guys got to wow them. You guys are the ones that are going to really wow the crowd. So make sure you guys, he's talking to me and all that. So the fact that I was able to make him pop and we were just bullshitting out there, I was like, oh, man, this is fucking cool as hell.
That's all it is, man. Just loosen the gears, man. They're regular people. Like, I met like Santana, right? Like I picked Mike Santana.
Yeah, he's a shit.
I picked him up from the airport, and like we were supposed to wrestle, but like I wasn't talking about the match. Like I'm asking about like, bro, how's New York Puerto Rican food? He's like the best. I'm like, I highly doubt it because we got the best one here. He's like,
you told him about jibaritos, didn't you?
Yeah. We're talking about like food. I'm talking about like music, right? About rap music and stuff. And we're talking about like top fives. And he's like, I hate Jay-Z. I'm like, I hate him too, dude. But everyone thinks he's the king of New York. And like, I'm just like, this guy's a regular dude. Like he's just like one of my homies I would know from like back when I was in high school. So like, why ruin it being like, hey man, you want to do this spot today? Like, we got time for that, man.
Exactly.
Like I need to figure out like who you are as like a dude, you know what I mean? Like as like actually somebody I actually look up to, like I want to know who you are and like what you like and stuff like that, rather than like I know you like wrestling. Why talk about it? Let's talk about other stuff.
You remember when we talked to him at House of Glory? Yeah. He was just about to go to Calgary, and he talked about how he had never been to Calgary. And this was one of my favorite things. Like you get to meet these guys that you've seen on TV so much and you're fans of, and then they show you not just their true selves, but they show you their fan side. Yeah, that's my favorite because he goes, "I'm so excited to go there because I can't wait to go see Owen Hart's gravesite." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty badass." A couple of days later, sure enough, on his social media, he's there hanging out with a huge smile on his face in front of Owen Hart's gravesite. I was like, "Oh, that's so freaking cool!"
Yeah, dude. Like you said, like we're all marks. Like we all have the stuff that gets us like to be marks. You know?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So I'm fucking embrace that shit, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: you got into wrestling at such a young age. When I was brought in, I was such a huge fan, right? And I always prided myself of like I was like an encyclopedia, man. Anyone would tell me anything, I fucking knew about it. You know, like Mexican wrestling, Puerto Rican wrestling, freaking European wrestling. I knew a lot about everything. And when I got into the business, it spoiled it 100% for me. Like I knew a lot of what was happening backstage already. Like I read a lot of stupid dirt sheets, and I believed a lot of that stuff, right? And then when I got back there, I realized that some of it was wrong, but some of it was right. And it spoiled it, and it actually made me hate wrestling for a small while because I was like, someone told me Santa Claus was real, basically.
Yeah, I get you.
It was not real, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, wow, what a fucking letdown. I'm sitting in locker rooms just watching people go through the motions, and it was just not what I wanted. Like, as a kid, that's not the world that I envisioned, and it ruined it for me. It wasn't until later that I fully embraced it that I started to like love it for a different way, you know? How did that have an effect on you at such a young age, being a fan? You mentioned you were a huge TNA guy. Now being backstage and seeing all this stuff, did it ruin things for you, or did it make you fall further in love with it?
Yeah, so I like I said, the opposite effect. I felt way more in love with it because I started looking at it as more as like an art form, right? Like I was never like the dirt sheet guy, or whatever. I loved this wrestling in general, no matter what it was. I loved comedy wrestling, cruiserweight wrestling, heavyweight wrestling, Japanese wrestling, or indie ROH stuff, if you want to say that, like tag team. Like, I was more obsessed with the art form of it rather than the politics or like the booking. Like, storylines are always there. I love storylines and all that, but like, just because I figured out like someone pulled the curtain back, I didn't go like, I don't watch this anymore. It's like when I watch basketball, I'm not like, oh, Kobe made that shot. That's the first time I ever took that shot. I know he practiced 1,000 shots back before he started the game, and I love that part of it. Man, seeing these, like, one thing that always got me is, like, seeing people from their first day to their first year in is just like, man, I get to see that art form evolve. It's seeing someone go from like, this piece of clay to be molded into something they've always wanted to be. So, like, I fell in love with all of that, like, the art of pro wrestling more than, like, being like, man, it's not real anymore. Like, to me, it's just like, man, I love the art that we do. And, like, that was the biggest thing to me.
Nice. Walk me through your first match versus the very first match when you came back.
So, my first match was against Chris Massenkai. My trainer, obviously, under a mask.
So we're Eskimo brothers in that sense, huh?
He was, what was his
Let me ask you, did you beat him?
Did I beat him? No. Did I beat him?
I beat him.
Did you? Oh, you beat him? I don't know if he put me over or not, but he was his gimmick called the Iron Chef. He was under.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah, he was under.
Was he using the sword at that time?
Not at that time. No, he'd been past that. But obviously my first match was all like just listening, and obviously I don't know where I'm supposed to be, but he can tell me where to be at what time, right? So like I'm not very good at putting myself in position to where I'm supposed to be. So it's a lot more of like him making sure you have to be in this corner at this time, be here at this point, be here at this point. It's a lot of like him putting me in the headlock or rest lock, telling me where to go, right? Because like I'm like 11, right? So like he's able. Every time I take a bump, I look like I die because like my arms are flaying. I have no body control. You know what I mean? So like I'm just being led. You know, I'm being led. It's very simple, nothing crazy going on at that one. But my first match back, it's a lot like rust, man. Like it's a lot of rust. Obviously I'm older, so I'm a little bit faster, a little bit different. But like as far as like technically wise, you gotta see the nicks and like crannies there because I didn't come back after like a year hiatus. It was like, you know, like a 4-year hiatus. Like, you know, I was gone for like 3 to 4 years. So like me coming back, I have to make sure I still remember how not to like hurt someone essentially.
Yeah.
So it's not more of like making like when I grab something, I'm like real light with it. I'm not like putting emotion in it. So like two different aspects of it. Obviously, and when I came back, it's the same thing. I'm letting the person who's wrestling lead me because I haven't wrestled in forever.
Yeah.
So.
I watch a lot of that stuff, especially because I know my boy Julio is kind of, you know, obviously involved in helping a lot of the guys because of his job working with Knicks and whatnot. So a lot of times I keep up with what's happening at Freelance, but I honestly haven't been in one of the shows in a long time. But from what it looks like, I see a lot of stuff that you guys post on social media, and I click and I watch those videos. And it seems like they have a lot of trust in you. Because anytime that they bring in a pretty solid name, chances are they're working you.
Yeah, man. It's a great position to be in, man. And, like, I can get and say, like, I feel like I deserve it, but I really don't feel like I do. You know what I mean? Like, I just make sure no matter what they give me, make the best of it. Like, I'm not here to say, like, I'm on the level I should be wrestling these guys. I'm, like, super just, like, man, I really never ever thought I should be here, like, in this position. And, like, the fact that they trust me with it, I'm always on the intent of making sure they're right. So, like, they put me in this position. That was their choice. I want to prove them right. I don't want to prove myself right. I just want to prove them right. Like, you guys put me here. I'm going to show you guys that you guys made the right decision for your guys' sake so you guys aren't wrong. Like, wrestling these guys, not anybody dream to me, man. Like, I just want to learn from them and keep doing it. And the trust they give in me, man, I just want to show them, prove them right, and making sure they know they can trust me with anything they have for me.
So what's your feeling when Freelance tells you that you're going to work Chavo Guerrero?
Dude, so, man, I just got chills when you said it, dude. So, like, I can go back to, like, the moment, right? Because, like, obviously they gave me the legacy title, right? Which is their secondary title, they say. But, like, to me, like, if you have a title, you make it the title. You know what I mean? You make it the thing that people want to come see. So, they're like, hey, give us a list of people you want to work. Santana was on there. Jake Something was on there. Darren Corbin was on there. Isaias Velasquez, Kylie Ray. They're on there. And obviously, I put at the bottom, like, dream matches, right? Like, ones that, like, realistic list, dream list. The matches, like, I know it's a pretty long shot, but here they are. Eddie Kingston on that list. Homicide was on that list. And Chavo's on that list. The one I felt least realistic about was Chavo Guerrero. Because I did not know if he was still working. I did not know what he does. Right? I thought I can get Eddie Kingston if I can get Chavo Guerrero. And then one day, they go, hey, you busy? The promoter, I go, nah, I'm at home right now. And I see like an image message, right? And I open it, and it's me and Chavo side by side. And it says right there, it says, the freelancer. I go, are you ribbing me right now? He goes, no. He goes, we booked the flight. We got the hotel. He will be here. You guys will be one-on-one. And like literally like chill shop my body, dude. Like I turned like 6 years old again, dude. Like I'm just thinking like Three Amigos, Frog Splash, Los Guerreros, all his skits. Like I'm just thinking all this stuff, man. And I just felt honored. But in wrestling, we all know it still might not happen, even though everything's booked. So in my mind, this match isn't happening until I see Chavo walk in the building and we're both together. So like the whole lead up to it, I'm like in my mind putting doubt in my mind, so that way I'm not disappointed if it doesn't happen, right? So I'm just like, it's just, his fight's gonna get delayed. He won't make it. It's all good, It just will never happen.
Being a pessimist.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to mark out that moment.
I'm just
but
like,
the moment he hung up the phone, you're like, ah!
Exactly.
No, I'm the same way, dude. Like I don't get excited for nothing until it's actually happening.
Exactly.
Because I don't want to get excited, and then something doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck.
Exactly.
You let yourself down. So
I don't want
the same way.
I don't want the disappointment. So it's like I'm gonna tell myself it's not gonna happen. Like it's gonna be worst case scenario. So when the worst case scenario comes, I'm always ready for it. But dude, when he walked in that building, dude, I swear there was like a glow to him, dude. It was wild. It was wild. But best part about it is these my homies, obviously people I hang with from freelance, they like to tell the waitress at the restaurants it's my birthday. So every time we go out to eat, they come and sing happy birthday to me, and they bring me a cake. It's a great rib, right? It's a harmless rib. So Chavo's upstairs, and then Chico Suave goes to grab him for me and comes down. She goes, "Hey man, I'm Koda. Nice to meet you." He goes, "Happy birthday, man!" And I was like, "Oh, they did not get you on this rib." He's like, they told me to say that. He goes, "It's your birthday?" I go, "No." He goes, "Oh, okay." He walks like, "Dude, this is great." And that was like the icebreaker, you know. I'm like, "Oh, this is great." Like if he's like this cool doing this, then like I'm gonna have a great time with him.
Oh yeah, dude. Chavo's in for a good rib, dude.
Dude, no. So the best part, it's wild.
He's a shit talker too, bro.
So we after the match happens, whatever, after the show, Chico Suave is driving back to his hotel. She goes like, "You guys going out to eat?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to go Nugget, right?" We all know go Nuggets, kind of shitty. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not the best. He's like, "You think I should ask Chavo?" I'm like, "If you want to ask him and bring him to go Nugget, go ahead." He comes back, he goes, "Chavo's in." I was like, "Oh no!" So then Chavo comes out to eat with us after the show, and shit, you not. They do happy birthday. Yeah, they do happy birthday. Chavo's sitting right in front of me. He's singing, bro. I'm like, dude, 8-year-old me would be going fucking crazy right now if Chavo goes sing happy birthday to him. And then Chavo goes, "You're not gonna eat the cake?" I go, "Nah." He's like, "I'm gonna eat it then." And he starts eating. He goes, "Cake's not bad."
Walk us through the match, man. Go.
Same question I was gonna ask.
So like I told you, my main thing is like not talk wrestling with them. So I come up to him and talk to him like the Iron Claw, how he's working on movies, stories, stuff like that. And then I think it got to a point where he was like so loose. He just goes, "What do you want to do tonight?" Like he asked me what I want to do tonight. I go, "I want to take a glory bomb." I'm not gonna lie, like I really do want to take a glory bomb. And he, like I can see his mind like go like, oh, because like I feel like a lot of people pitch like the Frog Splash, Three Amigos, the usual something. I really do want to take a glory bomb from you, and I told him the lasso from El Paso, but he's like, I do a single like crab. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, Eddie's was a lasso.
Yeah. So then he's like, yeah, you can do a glory bomb. He's like, you want to reverse it? I was like, sure. Like if you're gonna let me, I'll reverse it. And then we're talking about the match. I just go, man, I feel like it's either one way of two stories. It's either like me trying to do all your tricks, but it's your tricks. You know your tricks better than anyone else. So you always get the upper hand on me, and I have to find new ways of doing it, or it's idol versus student, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to try to do your moves. It doesn't work, whatever, because I'm just trying to emulate you. He's like, yeah, you want to do the Three Amigos? I was like, sure, I'll do the Three Amigos. He's like, yeah, you'll do it, and then I'll get it back, do it on you. He's like, you'll go for a Frog Splash, I'll hit you with it. I was like, this is crazy, dude. Never in my life do I think he would call for me to do the Three Amigos and go up for the Frog Splash. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was like, he's giving me stuff. He's like, you want to dive? I'm like, if you're willing to catch it, yeah, I'll do a dive. He's like, yeah, I'll catch your dive, whatever it is. And we're talking, man. And I think in his mind, I would hope so, because what he told me that was like the biggest honor, I think, for anyone who's been in the business. He goes, I like you, man. He goes, because you're not out here just calling some spots. He's like, you're telling a fucking story. And he goes, like, that's what I like. He's like, you get it. You get what we're trying to do here. And I was like, that was the biggest honor. Because, like, we all know, like, when someone on that caliber tells you get it, you know what it means. You know what I mean? So, like, I was like, man, that's crazy. Chavo goes to me, like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. And he was just in full, like, belief of me. He gave me everything I ever wanted, man. He definitely was not selfish that night. He definitely was out there to go work, and it was amazing, man. That's
awesome, man. It's great to hear that he was that giving to you, you know?
And what was his feedback he gave you after the match?
It's a great story. So, he goes for the Three Amigos on me, right? So, boom, he gives me the first one. He does the roll up. He pauses for 1 second. He goes, "Jump, you heavy motherfucker!" And then gives me a second one. Dude, I got the biggest smile on my face because I'm laughing like Child's calling me heavy as fuck. We get to the back. Yeah, bro. We get to the back. He's fucking heavy. He's like, it's great. He's like, everything. He's like, you're just heavy, man. I was like, all right, if that's the only feedback you got, I can work on that. I appreciate that. He's like, you're just heavy. That's all it is. He's like, but everything else, great, just heavy.
No, that's awesome, man. Hell yeah.
Fucking, it was hilarious, man. He was so funny, dude. Even go out to eat, he's cold as shit. Like, we're in Golden Nugget, he has his gloves on his hands, Like, because how Cody is from the Chicago weather. I'm like, you don't get this? I was like, I live in California, dude. He's like, I was fucking golfing in shorts 24 hours ago. I was like, I get it.
Yeah. And what about your match with Homicide?
So that was another one, like, with Chavo, dude. I wasn't told that I was wrestling him till they dropped the match announcement. So that was Ego, Robert Anthony's promotion for Ego Pro. And Rob goes, hey, I have your match. I'm not going to tell you, though. You're going to find out when everyone else finds out. He kept telling me it was John Moxley. Because him and John Moxley are close. I was like, oh, I'm wrestling John Moxley. That's cool. That's awesome. I'm excited for that.
I like
right?
how it's cool. Super excited about Chavo. Yeah, man. Just fucking Moxley.
John Moxley's like
fucking Ambrose.
You know what I mean? It's different because it's Latino in me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
These are people I saw myself in. It's a little bit different. So he goes, hey, this day at noon, I'm gonna announce the match. He's like, so please be aware it's gonna be announced at this time. I go, okay. So he posts. I see he tagged me in the reel. Open it, and I hear the Kill Bill thing. I go. I knew right in my head. I was like, "Holy shit, that's Homicide's thing." And then Homicide pops up. I pop up, and then the graphic shows Homicide versus Koda Hernandez 1-on-1, no DQ. I go, "This is fucking amazing, right?"
And when
dude?
you see the no DQ, then you go, "Fuck, I'm getting murdered."
Dude, no, I'm in my head. I'm like cop killer through a door. I want to take it so bad. I
want to get murdered.
Yeah, I'm like forked to the head. Like, I'm bleeding, all this, right? And, man, but in the same thing, I'm in my head, his flight will get delayed. He's not going to show up. It's not going to happen. Whatever. Again, he walks through that door, bro. Fucking glow. I could see, like, a glow in him, dude. And I'm just like, damn, he's here. Like, it's going to happen now. And, not gonna lie, I was really nervous to talk to him. I didn't talk to him for 20 minutes. I was so scared. He was sitting alone. Everyone's like, go talk to him, go talk to him. Like, I can't, dude. Like, I cannot do it right now. Like, I need a second to process this. And I finally go up and say, what's up? I go, hey, what's up, man? He goes, hey, D, nice to meet you. I go, Koda, nice to meet you. I go,
he introduced himself as D.
Yeah, it's D, yeah.
It was funny as hell. The very first time I ever saw, I don't know if you guys ever remember the RF videos. These were like these old school, like behind the scenes, like interviews with workers. And you guys remember when CM Punk was in AEW, where he was clotheslining somebody and he was going Kojima.
Yeah.
So the very first time I ever saw like anything backstage was CM Punk talking, making
Samoa Joe on the Kojima thing.
Yeah, the Kojima thing.
I'm sorry, Gabe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gabe. You know Kojima.
Like, hey, D. And I remember hearing D, and I go, what was that? And through me doing some research, that's how he refers to himself, and I was just like, that's hilarious. So right now when you said that, that's what popped up in my head.
Love it. So I go and talk to him. I'm like, hey man, how's it? He goes, oh man, it's good. He's like, my train was delayed. He's like, some guy got shot waiting for the train. I go. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah man, my train was supposed to be there like at this time. Then some fucking guy got shot, so they shut down the train. I go the other way. I just go, all right. That's great. And then same thing, so rap music, sports. Obviously, he's a huge Yankees fan. My dad, for some reason, is a Yankees fan. He doesn't watch baseball. He just has the hats on all the time. I have no idea what it's about, but he loves the Yankees. We're talking about that. And then he does the same thing. What do you want to do today, right? It's I'm like, I have this idea for a spot. It's the Randy and Christian one, the springboard, get caught in the cutter. That's what stairs. Yeah. We'll do a door instead because he does a gringo cutter. I was like, I think you go for cop killer, I reverse it, springboard, cutter. He's like, yeah, it's cool. He goes, anything you want to do? I was like, if you want to go through a door, he's like, I'll go through a door. I'm like, do you mind if I get color? He's like, I don't give a shit. So then, his whole thing is he's calling it, and as the thing that always made me with Chavo and Homicide, as we're calling it, he's giving me advice on how to call it, right? So he's like, do it like this, but do it this way so it leads to this. We'll do this here so it leads to this. And it's a lot of putting stuff in places and making sure we come back to it later on.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of teaching while calling, which I appreciated because I'm learning how to put stuff in certain places and move stuff around into a higher aspect of wrestling, right? And that's stuff that is the best thing because you can call him out to a guy, he'll be like, okay, cool. And he'll say no and never get how to make it better. It's he'll be like, no, let's do it this way. Because this is better. That makes more sense. So, calling the match with him was great. Obviously, he was very giving. He went through a door. He put me through a door. He did after the match, he was ecstatic with it. The one thing that really got me is, Robert Anthony sent me this video of, a certain deathmatch wrestler. I forgot his name, but it was in a day in life on WTV.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes in his gear bag. He goes, "This is a bandana Homicide gave me after our match, and he told me to keep it as like a keepsake, right?" And he sent me that. He goes, and Rob Anderson, he sends me that. He goes, "You need to earn that fucking bandana on that show, right?" And I go, it's like all I'm thinking about in my head is like, I'm gonna get the bandana. Like that's my goal. At the end of the match, I'm gonna get a bandana from Homicide, and it's gonna be that moment, right? So we get through the match or whatever, and then sure enough, the match ends. He's staying in the ring, and as we know as wrestlers, when they're staying in the ring, you kind of give them the honor of like almost like leaving. But then he's like, I see him do the hand signal like, stay, right? So I'm like, all right. So I like stay there, and then I'm still selling it, respectful selling. And then he takes off his head off the bandana, and it just hit me, dude. I felt like all the emotion hit me, and he puts his hand in his right hand. He slaps me, he grabs me, picks me up, and he puts the bandana in my hand. He goes, "Thank you for the match." And he told me something in my ear. Obviously, something that a message that I have in my head every day. And yeah, man, we get to the back. He gave me a hug. He shook my hand, told me thank you. I told him thank you. He told me how he appreciated the match, how good of a kid I am, and he gave me a fork. He signed it with my blood on it that he stabbed me with. I got the bandana, and I have that hanging in my apartment to this day.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
Nice.
man.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Did you take the cop killer on the door?
Dude, so I called it, and he straight up said like, I can't do it safely anymore. He's like, I have real bad like back and my hips. He's like, if I do it, it's a very like small chance that it's gonna look good. Because like I'm overprotected, so it's gonna look kind of bad. So he's like, I don't feel like comfortable. But one thing that made me like realize how much of these guys are great is Homicide asked our ref, "What do you think we should do at this point?" Right? Because
ref?
Yeah, because like the ref should.
That's a first for me.
Yeah, because the ref should know like the flow of a match, right?
Yeah, right.
They're in there with you.
Yeah.
So he's like, we're calling stuff, and we're at the standstill. We're like in between two spots, and Homicide's, "What do you think would at this point we should do as a ref?" And the ref's like, "I feel like this and that." So Homicide's
Who's your ref at this point?
Brian Allen.
Brian Allen?
Yeah, Brian Allen.
You know, it's weird. I thought for a moment, I'm like, I bet you it's gonna be fucking Brian.
Yeah, Brian Allen. Yeah. One of the Eagle boys. He's one of our people.
He's one of our guys.
Yeah. But he asked him, and like, in my mind, I'm like, man, I never thought of that, because the ref is a part of the match when you think about it. Like, you need him there. You need to tell him, like, hey, real long count on this one because it's a huge falsie. Hey, give us a long count here because we're going to be out there brawling for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, check on him after this because it's going to be a pretty bad bump. Like, they're there for
Brian's
everything.
one of the best to do that. He will follow direction.
He's awesome, dude. He's awesome. He's great. Working with him in Go Pro's been great. Having him as my ref was great.
And this is a kid that's grown up in the business, you know? So he understands what's going on in there. So to have him be the referee to that match is only a plus, man.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, that was just an eye-opener to me because why don't we ask the refs what they think of something, Because they're not, like, in the match, but they are. They're not wrestlers, but they know. They're in there. They're hearing the pops. They feeling the flow of the match. They're there when you're calling it. It's like they would know what to feel like at that point.
I spent half my career being either a wrestler or a manager. And it's kind of funny because whenever I would do managing and I would go in there and just kind of stand to the side, hearing the match being put together, with me and Danny, I started off as his manager, and then we ended up just being tagged, And it's kind of interesting because there's people that sometimes don't have that mentality when they hear either a ref or a manager add their 2 cents. They kind of go, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
That's
Bro,
that's the biggest disrespect I could ever.
I agree. I agree because a few times I felt like slightly disrespected, but in the back of my mind, I'm going like, I know more about this shit than you, motherfucker. And like and things like that. And not to sound like a fucking cocky asshole, but sometimes the person that is saying it to me, if I know that I do know more, I'm all like, no, dude, this is gonna look better because of this and that. And he knows because like I've put a lot of stuff together for his matches, for other people's matches, and things like that. This past couple weeks ago. Just 2 weeks ago, I think it was. We brought in this guy at the Pound Entertainment who only speaks Spanish. He's a guy from Mexico. His claim to fame is he does the boots for a lot of the workers. He's done from Cody for The Rock, you name it, everybody, right? And we brought him into POW, and he couldn't communicate with everyone. So I was basically Sonny Ono.
Yeah,
I was putting the match together for him.
That's Chico Suave for us.
Yeah. And so it's funny because Quinn Whittock at the end walks up to me like I'm saying my goodbyes at the end of the day, and he goes like, "Hey, bro." It's like, I just want to say thank you. It's like, I don't think we could have put that match the way it like ended up together today if it wasn't for you. I go, no problem, dude. And mind you, I'm his vet.
Mm-hmm.
But, that was like kind of fucking cool because I love Quinn's fucking work.
Yeah.
And I was like, he didn't have to say that.
No,
I don't expect that from anyone, especially when I'm not even involved in that match.
Yeah.
But I was just there helping this guy because, the translating aspect. But it went beyond me translating. It went beyond for me going like, nah, guys, this spot will look better like this and so and so and so and so. So I ended up helping with that. So it's kind of interesting that you guys brought in Brian because there is a whole another set of eyes and a whole different set of understanding that if you get like that, so to speak, that writer's block for wrestlers, someone else can help you through that.
Well, let me ask you guys, when you worked, who are the people after the match that you went up to and asked how it went?
Nobody, bro. I knew my match was perfect.
Real.
No. I would ask. First, I would ask him because
because his match is perfect.
So he's perfect. So I'm gonna ask him. But no, I'll ask him because he's very straightforward, And then obviously the guy I worked and. If there's an agent for that match, I'll go up and talk to the agent. Hey, what because usually once we walk back to the curtain, I'll just ask him right away. How was that? How'd it go? He'll tell me this look kind of whatever. You look kind of weak here, whatever. Like he'll shoot me straight with it. But then I'll ask the agent. I'll ask the promoter. If the promoter watched it, I ask the promoter. Hey, did you watch it? What'd you think? Because dude, I mean, I've been in like 16 years, but I'm still asking people like, hey, how to look, so that way I know myself. Okay, I mean, still got to work on shit.
Yeah, of course.
Especially as I'm getting older, my body ain't moving like it used to. My body ain't moving like I did at fucking 24. So
with me, like depending on the setup, man, it's kind of strange because it. If let's say if someone goes on third and you're on maybe fifth, at the time when they're going on, you're probably going through those like pre-match jitters.
Exactly.
You're probably not watching that match. Let's be honest.
You're
not.
Yeah,
so somebody walks through the curtain and goes, "Hey, bro, did you see it?" And you're like, "Nah, bro, I was getting ready for my shit, right?" So a lot of times, if I know I'm gonna go out there and have a match with somebody that I really want somebody to look at, I'll look at the card and I'll go, who's somebody whose opinion I respect a lot, who's further on into the card so that they have enough time to watch my match, still come back and do their own shit.
Exactly.
So that's who I would target. So for me, it varies. Like promoter, I obviously do that. And the other person who I'm working, but I usually look back in the day, Yabo and Ruffo, the Brothers of Construction, Rough Crossing would be further off in the card whenever we would be performing because he sometimes would be main event.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, hey, bro, if you're not too busy, can you go check out the match? So a lot of times me and Rick would be cool. So I would come back and be like, yeah, bro, you guys did this, and that. So I always tend to look into someone higher in the card. That was my strategy of getting solid feedback because I knew that they had enough time to look at it.
Yeah. So I have 4 people. I'll tell you the reasons why I go. James Russo, Isaiah Velasquez, Kirby Alexander, and I don't know if you guys know him. His name's Robles, but Robles, right? These are the reasons why. James Russo's the booker promoter, so he's gonna give me what he sees.
Yeah.
From a booker's perspective, right?
Yeah.
What I need to work on character wise, whatever it is. Isaiah will give me the footwork stuff, the technical in ring stuff, because he's a trainer, and tell me what looked technically right, what didn't look technically right, what I could work on in ring wise. Kirby Alexander's the ring announcer, but he's also a fan, right? He's gonna give me the fan's perspective. He's gonna tell me watching you as a fan, because he's part of the show, but he's also he's also a fan.
Right.
So he's
That's
like watching
a really good concept
Yeah.
to take into the fans' point of view. No one ever does
So
that.
he's
That's
looking
cool.
at it as part. He's a ringside, but he's feeling the fan. So he's
Right.
like, I felt this. I can hear this from this fan. So he's watching it from that perspective. And Robles, he's the cameraman, right? So he can tell me where stuff looked good shot-wise on camera and where it didn't look good. Hey, if you're going to do that move, do it in that corner because then hard cam catches it from here. Hey, if you're going to do that move, do it there because roaming cam's coming this way. right? So I have these 4 different perspectives that all come into how a match should play out no matter what, right?
That's cool, man.
So those are reasons why I do that when I come back. Because, like, I'll ask the boys, and, you know, the boys usually be like, it's good, it was great. You
Sometimes they
great.
stroke,
Yeah, you know, they're like, it's good, it's great, right? But then you ask them, hey, what was the finish? They go, I didn't catch that part. It's
they
like,
watch it.
Yeah. It's like, all right, well, now I know. But, like, it's for me, it's just still learning. Like, you have to learn no matter what. And, like, as much as your boys are your boys, they're going to be more nice to you than they're going to be harsh to you.
Yeah.
So you need to go find that harsh criticism from people.
There's this one show we did where I was banned from ringside.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this whole little ordeal where we had someone else dressed like me and walk him to the ring, and I was already in the crowd. I was wearing a La Parka mask. I was wanting to do that Jericho spot where you wear a fucking lucha mask.
Yeah.
So I'm already sitting in the crowd. There was a buddy of mine who was in from Detroit and happened to be at the show. So I literally sat next to my buddy, like way in the back. No one fucking even thought that was me. And the entire show, I'm watching it from that seat. It was so different. I went back to the locker room and I gave so much criticism to everyone, but in a nice way. I hate, the old shit sandwich, Like, I walked through the curtain and I go, hey, man, come here. It's like, so this is what I saw today, blah, 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 blah. Work on this, blah, 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 blah. And I remember going, like, that was so different because I could watch it from the monitor in the back. But it was interesting hearing everyone's reactions around me to the stuff that people were doing. And I literally sat and watched the show as a fan until I needed to get involved. And anything prior to that, I got to experience as a fan.
Yeah.
And it was a very interesting concept because, like, I went back with different critique that I would not have had for somebody's matches.
Yeah.
So I can respect
we've
what
all
you're asking.
Got trapped in with when you start wrestling for yourself. Like, you forget you're not doing it for yourself. You go out there and be like, now I want to have this match. It's like, if the crowd's not liking it, brother, then change it up.
Exactly.
You're not wrestling for yourself.
Yeah.
These people paid X amount of money to come watch you. Entertain them, dude.
Yeah.
The worst form of wrestling to me is the unentertaining form.
Yeah.
Like, if the fans aren't into it, I can only blame you. There's a funny quote from my boy August Matthews. He says the only bad crowd is the crowd that didn't show up.
Yeah.
You can't blame a crowd.
Yeah.
He goes, they're there. So you have stuff to work with. You just got to get them off their feet. You got to get them to react. And if you don't, that's on you, dude. I can't tell you they should react to your pile driver. Because why should they?
Yeah.
If they're not into it, they're not into you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you have to figure out what they're into and work that to your advantage, man.
Yeah. I firmly believe that. I hate when workers get beyond that point where they used to be fans. We talked about being marks earlier. Like, there's times that you talk to some of these guys backstage and they almost forget that the reason they're doing the stuff they're doing is because they love
it's like
it,
I said,
right?
they lose the kid in themselves.
Yeah.
They lose the kid.
And a lot of times when I pitch him stuff and we're going back and forth, a lot of times it comes from a place where I go, if I were to be sitting in that crowd, what would I want to see these guys do? What would make me go, holy shit, that was awesome? Because every single show that I've ever been to, I don't care whether it's WWE or an independent show, I'd walk in, I know who I want to see, right? But a good maybe 9 times out of 10, that's not what I remember when I leave.
Exactly.
It's not the person that I went in there to see. I remember something else from the show. I'm like, man, that was cool that I saw those guys. But you remember this other match?
Yeah.
That was really fucking badass, and they did this, and that. Something else would make me remember that show entirely. So that's one of the concepts that I take into a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Is what would I want to see if I were a fan?
Yeah, create moments, man. That's my thing. Create moments so that way, like you said, when they leave the show, they go, man, main event was good. But, man, match 2 had that one cool thing where that guy did this. And it's like, now they go out there and they remember you.
Yeah.
Be that moment they can go back to, right? Like, hey, what was good on the show? I mean, the main event was great, but, man, there was that one moment in that one match where these 2 guys did this, and that was really cool. It's like, you have to be the butt to whatever you're talking about. Like, the main event was great, but this was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That memory sticks in their head. And, like, it's all about creating moments when it comes to, like, wrestling, man.
The whole show was amazing, but man, that Koda guy was fucking kick ass.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I had a street fight against Darren Corbin. I don't know if you're familiar with Darren Corbin.
Yeah.
At Freelance, and we were main event, and I was talking to him. I was like, I just want to have a match where like there's moments, right? Because like you watch deathmatch and like you can become numb to it, where it's just like light tube.
Yeah.
So you can become numb to it, like, oh, it's whatever. But
it's all
like
the same shit, light tubes, fucking.
Exactly.
A
So
lot of time they feel like they have no psychology to them. That's why.
So like that's the thing. Like you lose. Like you just want to like have this balls to walls match where it's like, why don't we just put moment here, break, moment here, break, moment here, break. We put moments in places so that way the match, they might not remember the whole match, but there's 6 moments there where they're gonna go, that makes most sense. Mm-hmm. That was actually cool. That was that, and like that was a lot of like put stuff in places, make them forget, come back to it later, and that's like the art of the storytelling. Like they forget about it, you come back to go, oh shit, that door was outside the whole time, and he just fell through it because he forgot it was there. It's like, yeah, the people in the ring are human beings too. They forget shits everywhere. Yeah. So like when you make the crowd forget something's there and then you come back to it, they're like, dude, that's crazy. That's insane. That's storytelling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now at this point in your career, man, looking, the matches you're having, the guys you're working, you know, Chavo, Guerrero, Homicide, Santana, all these other big names that, that you got coming up and shit. What's your dad saying, man, now that, you started because of him and then now where you're at now?
So I have a real bad, I don't know if you guys have it too. I have a real bad thing with accepting like praise or like love. It's almost, I don't know if it's like a Latino thing. Yeah. I'm just like get away from me. Like I hate it. So, me and hugs like, right there. Yeah, like please get away. Stop commenting me. I don't want to hear it. Right.
I feel dirty.
Yeah, dude, it's like I'm just like, oh fuck, I can't be around anyone. So like, I feel so bad. But like my dad like texts me like he's proud of me and stuff like that, and I'll like, ignore it. Like right, because I know what to say. Right, because like. The only reason I'm into this is because of him and my grandfather, Like, when I left wrestling, I came back. The only reason I came back is because my dad and my grandpa took me to an NXT show, and I saw how happy they were watching it. And I remember when we 3 watched it together and how happy we 3 were together spending time watching wrestling. So I came back to it because I wanted to give them that feeling watching me, right?
Right.
So when they, like, expressed to me how proud they are of me, it makes it like I feel it, but I can't like accept it because like I'm only here because of you guys.
Right.
I'm not here for myself. Like I'm here because you guys believed in me and gave me you guys let me do this, and you guys showed me this art form that I fell in love with. Like you guys gave me who I am, and my whole reason for doing this again is to make sure you guys know it doesn't go unwasted. Mm-hmm. So like, my dad's super happy to see me wrestle, man. He's at all my shows. He hasn't missed a single freelance show. He loves all of them, dude. And I can't be more grateful for him. It's just I can't. I think he knows I can't accept the love because he's the same way I am, right? But it feels kind of weird. It's like I'm proud of you. It's like I haven't really, in my eyes, I haven't really done anything, right? But to him, this is crazy. I said Chavo. My dad watched Chavo on WCW. I watched Chavo on WWE. Me and my grandpa and my dad watched Chavo together, and now my dad and my grandpa are watching me wrestle Chavo.
Mm-hmm. Full circle, man.
It's 3 different generations, right? But my dad and my grandpa gets to be fans watching their son, their grandson wrestle someone they watch.
What was their reaction? Fans. Your dad and your
grandfather?
My
dad was ecstatic about it. Yeah. They're like, "Holy shit, that's Chavo Guerrero, right?"
That you make it so that your old man and your grandpa got to meet Chavo.
So my dad didn't want to meet Chavo. They didn't want to meet him, right? Because he's like crazy enough. He's at the merch table, right? And it's before the show. They let people doors open. Chavo was just standing there on his phone, right? He's sitting on his phone, and no one's coming up to Chavo, like fan wise. And I think it's because they don't realize that's Chavo, right? Because he's just standing there, right? So he comes upstairs. He goes, "Man, no one's coming to say." Like he looks disappointed, right? He almost like, "No one's coming to say what's up to me." Like I'm just like, that's fucking weird, right? And then I started seeing like this line by his table, and people like looking around. And then Chico Suave's there, and they go, and someone tells Chico like, "Hey, where's Chavo?" He's like, "He's upstairs." So then Chico comes back upstairs, grabs, goes, "Hey, you have a line now." And then Chavo goes back down. Look, there's a line, people waiting to meet him. I go, "Dude, I don't think you remember who you are." Like, they just didn't recognize it was you, but you're Chavo Guerrero, dude. Like that was my dad's perspective, my grandpa's perspective. Like that's a Guerrero. Like that's anyone when you say that name in wrestling, everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. So
absolutely.
they were super fans of seeing it, man. It was honestly, it's one of probably like my proudest moments. Them being able to see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We played darts against him, and the entire time, I'm not a dart guy. I hardly ever play darts, but he does, and he, we were playing pool against him prior to that. So then we moved from playing pool to playing darts. In the back of my mind, going like, how the fuck did I end up here during the course of the day?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm playing pool, and I'm actually a pretty good pool player, And so I'm all like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna fuck up Chavo. He ends up whooping our ass.
But it's cool though, because obviously, like I said, I worked travel back in 2015, and we've always stayed in contact, but to still be out hanging out with them, shooting pool, playing darts, I'm like, I'm fucking sitting here playing pool and darts with Chavo Guerrero.
And that's my thing, because you didn't take yourself too serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're enjoying life. Like, how the fuck did I end up at Golden Nugget with Chavo Guerrero and Santana Jackson, who's in full Michael Jackson makeup, eating burgers in a fucking patty melt? Where the fuck is I'm just like,
pro wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? But dude, the stuff that pro wrestling bring you into, bro, it's like,
imagine somebody walking by, and they took a quick glimpse inside Golden Nugget, and they see Michael Jackson.
He's like, yeah, dude. Like, imagine like us going back to 8 years old, like, hey man, you're gonna do this when you're this age. Like 8 year old be like, no fucking way, right? It's like, no, you're gonna do it, and it's like, all right. And then 8 year old me now would be fucking ecstatic to be in my shoes, dude. Having Chavo Guerrero sing "Happy Birthday" to me and steal my cake, like, bro, it sounds amazing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like fucking playing pool and darts for him, and he's shit talking the whole time.
Yeah,
bro. He's talking shit.
He's a normal fucking dude. He's normal fucking good. I know he's great. He's a great shit talking dude. When he told me I was heavy, dude, I was laughing my ass off, bro. And he gives me that frog splash, bro. I'm smiling ear to ear.
I'm about to get slammed.
I'm like watching you go, like, this is great.
That's the best view for a frog splash.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like. Bah. And then someone got a picture of me in the ring while he's talking, and they go, man, I wonder what's going through Koda's head right now. And all I can think is like, bro, I am like, there's nothing about, I am 8 years old watching him on TV with my like this.
Because I'm sure you didn't know that he was going to talk to you,
yeah,
right?
exactly my point. I don't know, but like, I'm watching it being like, I'm 8 years old again. Like, that's Chavo Guerrero, right? Because I used to sit at the TV same way, just knees up to my chest, watching the TV like this. So like, seeing him in the ring, same thing. I just turned 8 years old again. I'm like, I'm just going to enjoy this moment. Like, I'm in the ring watching Chavo Guerrero talk about wrestling. Like,
are you conscious of what he's saying? Yeah, I was gonna say, are you conscious of what he's saying, or are you just like lost in the moment at this point?
So I hear the words, but they're not going through my head, right?
You're not processing it, right?
Yeah, dude. Crazy enough, when I wrestled Homicide, right? The match ends before meeting Homicide, and it's like the cartoon was ringing in your ear. Like, I don't hear a single word. Like, my boys are coming up to me and being like, hype me up, bro, and I'm not moving. I'm just staring straight, and it's just like, womp, womp, womp. Like, I'm not hearing a single fucking thing. I'm just standing like this, and they're like, are you okay? I can't hear anything. Like, I'm so, like, just... And then Robert comes through back, and the only words I remember hearing before the match where he goes, go earn that fucking bandana, and then my music hits and I go out, right? But, like, same thing with Chavo. I see his mouth moving. I really don't know what he's saying, though. I'm just, like, sitting there smiling like, this is awesome.
That was a cool moment. They posted that video. I was like, man, that's fucking cool as shit.
Thank God I held back the tears so I got to the back, dude. I held them in, dude. They were almost there. I was like, I can't do it. I can't fucking do it. I can't fucking do it, but it's so close. But if I was facing, because my parents were behind me, sitting behind me where it was, if I saw my dad's face, I probably would have cried. But like, I was like, thank God they're right behind me, because I did not see him.
That scene from that freaking movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, don't cry in front of the Mexicans. How dare you? Don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
Dude, how was it working Santana? Because I'm a big Santana fan. Also,
dude, listen, dude, I'm a huge bro. I remember when they first came out, him and Ortiz, LAX, and TNA. Yeah. Big fan of them, dude. They're gonna fucking kill it. I also went to AEW, killed it. Then whatever. He went on to a singles run, but I was always a huge fan of both of them. And once he went by himself and he went to TNA, I'm like, he's gonna kill it. And everyone's going to realize just how good this fucking guy is, right? Because, like, when you're in a tag team, sometimes people don't recognize one or do the other. And with LAX, I feel like they always saw them as equals. And they always were like, oh, they're both really good. Yeah. They're good as a tag team. In my eyes, the way it seemed when the response, when he, like, split, was going to be like, oh, they're both not going to be able to make it, right? Because they're like, oh, they're just tag team guys. But I knew in my head that, like, you can tell when someone's got that fire in their gut, right?
Let me hold on for a quick second, since both of you guys are such huge Santana fans. When he went solo, did it feel like he brought up his intensity?
Oh, absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying.
I saw matches of
The
his.
fire in his gut
Yep.
was like, "Oh, you guys don't think I can do this?"
Yeah.
And
I'm
I was
gonna fucking
going
show
to
you.
ask you, is he snug? Because you could tell he lays his
yeah.
shit in, bro.
So he
Yeah,
wrestled.
He looked like he just brought it.
He wrestled my boy Saban beforehand, and Saban was like, he puts it in there. So I was like, I like when people bring it to me. So I'm like, all right, he's gonna give me one. I'm gonna give him one, and we're both gonna know exactly where we're at in this match, right? Because like I think we all know like the respect aspect. Like if someone feels like they eat you alive, they're gonna eat you alive, right?
Yeah.
So like it was coming from the respect part, but I'm like, I'm not gonna let him eat me alive. I'm gonna give him that warning shot so he knows like I'm gonna bring it as well. And dude, he hits hard, but like I need that to wake me up. Like if I'm gonna imagine like someone's real like just like not like with it, then I'm just like I match that energy sometimes. When someone brings it, I'm like, all right, now we're about to fucking
He's
go.
the same way.
I need that shot to wake me up.
Yeah.
Like, give me it. Like I need it because like I need the intensity to be brought up. It's like I can't come down. Like I have to be up here the whole time. And he was great to work with, man. He hits hard, which I love. He's snug. He's safe though. That's the best part. He hits in safe spots. And he didn't complain about me bringing it. Like I know I stiffed him. I know I hit him a couple times. I stiffed him. He didn't complain about a single thing, bro. And same thing.
He probably
was
enjoyed
giving.
it, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because I think in his mind, he also the same way we are. He wants people to bring it. Like, don't feel like you have to be like safe with me because I'm the name or whatever. Like, be who you are when you're wrestling me, right?
I feel like a lot of workers make that mistake. Is like they have that utmost respect, almost to the point that it's fear of getting like, man, if I stiff him, he's gonna go in the back, he's gonna talk shit, and then what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
There's a fear of like messing up the star guy.
Yeah.
I get it, man. But man, that's awesome that you were able to bring it and he brought it, and there was like. You parted ways in a great way.
And that was one of his feedbacks. He's like, I'm happy you brought it. He's like, you didn't let me just eat you alive. I'm like, no, I watch you, dude, and you don't do that. So if I'm like watching you, studying you, not to do the same honors to you, like you're letting me kick out all this shit after you beat my ass, and if I come back and hit you with a fucking little thing and you have to sell that, I'm not respecting what you're doing for me.
Yeah.
Like I gotta give you something big to sell, so like I have to bring it.
Yeah, I saw him shortly after he split off from Ortiz, and I remember saw him in, I think it was like MLW or something like that. And I just remember him coming out. People popped for his entrance, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to see him by himself. And then he proceeds to lay in some shots of the person, and I go, I've never seen him this intense, ever.
Dude, it's that fire in his gut, because he was telling me about it. He's like, I want to be the best. He's like, I can't be anything like less. And it's that, like I said, I feel like when he split, a lot of people were like, oh, he's just gonna fade off because he's a tag team guy. Like they need to be in the team to be relevant, and he proved everyone wrong, man. He got fucking jacked.
Oh yeah.
He started working these great matches. I saw him and Speedball Mike Bailey at Warrior Wrestling here at Cicero Stadium, and bro, I was like, holy shit! If people don't think this guy can do singles, they're mistaken.
Yeah.
He's gonna light the world on fucking fire.
No
dude.
disrespect to Ortiz, but it looks like he's the one that's fading.
And that's what sucks, man, because I'm a huge Ortiz fan as well. And I want to say it's because of the injury, but, I just... Maybe he doesn't want to take the risk of, of leaving, which I understand.
Maybe it's the fact that we're measuring him to Santana's standards, and Santana brought up his level so high that he is still operating at that level he was, which isn't bad, but it's better than a lot of people, right?
Exactly.
Because Santana brought up his game, we're probably not seeing them on the same level.
And that's the one thing
anymore.
I hate is comparing the two, because I can't look at Santana's situation or Ortiz's situation, but like it's the same situation.
Yeah.
It's not, Exactly. So like if that's what they're having him do, Ortiz, then I can't say anything about it.
Yeah.
He's doing his job.
Yes.
Like he just has to do his job. I bet you if you put him where he wants to go, you give him a guy, he can go. He'll give you a 5-star if you want to. But they're not doing that.
I'm curious as to what he is going to do once he's not under that contract and he's like, I have to reinvent myself. If he's going to bring it to that level and be like, I have to prove that I am that guy.
Well, I always look at it as from a sports perspective. We all know when in any sports, when they say it's a contract year, when you get that 1 year left under contract, NBA or whatever, and you see those people start playing out of their mind because they're ready to hopefully get that next contract. It's the same deal in wrestling. When you know you're on that chopping block, you either have to step up oh, you're just gonna let them do whatever they want with you.
Yeah,
and like
that's true.
I really do, man. That's someone else who's on my list. There's Ortiz. I highly respect him as well, and I hope he has the same success Santana has because they were both great because they were killing at a time where I don't feel like tag team wrestling was really killing it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
and
exactly.
They were doing with the Lucha Bros, and they're fucking going crazy, man.
I know this is weird to like think of somebody as like really awesome at this, but do you guys remember how when the Dudleys were together and everyone used to see them get their ass kicked, like everyone always focused on Devon selling? Mm-hmm. When I used to look at Santana and Ortiz, it was always Ortiz is selling rather than Santana's. So Ortiz has that Devon thing where he would always like overdo it.
I was having this conversation with my boys a while ago. I never realized that Jeff took heat in all the tag matches. Mm-hmm. Jeff took heat in all the tag matches. I didn't care about Matt that much, but I cared about Jeff getting his ass beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is crazy to think because Jeff was the star, but I cared about him so much because he took all the heat.
Yeah,
and then Matt was at the comeback, and it's crazy to think because like as a kid, you don't realize it, but as an adult now, I'm like, that's why I cared so much. Because Jeff was the one getting his ass beat.
Just you, not me.
So,
I didn't care about the Hardys.
Oh, damn, dude. I love the Hardys, dude.
I don't know what it is, man. I never got into them, man.
Dude,
speaking of the Hardys,
I do like dance to this day, dude.
I was a Hardys.
I do like dance to this day, dog.
I do the stretch, though. When I get out of the car, I'm like, oh, it feels really good. What do you guys think of what he said recently where he talked about, like, if it wasn't for his drug issues, he'd be bigger than Cena?
So...
Is that what he said?
Yeah, I think people are taking it like out of context. I get what he's saying.
Yeah,
right?
He'd be bigger. I don't know if he'd be bigger.
His run would have went longer. Yes. Is what I think he's saying. Right? It would have went longer than what it was.
That was for like so many though. Because I mean, look, I'm a big Rob Van Dam guy. That's my dude.
I love Rob Van Dam too.
If Rob had not gotten in trouble with that drug, that traffic stop, he would have had a longer title run.
The three cool, like I'm not saying the best, but the coolest wrestlers to me were RVD, Jeff Hardy, and Rey Mysterio. Like, when I saw them, like, they're just cool. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like they're the best wrestlers, but they're just cool. Like, they just have, like, this cool aspect to them.
Cool
when RVD came out, he just did his pose. I'm like, that's just a cool guy right there. When Jeff came out with the face paint, that's fucking cool. Ray was masked. That's just a cool aspect to it.
They were larger than life. They were comic book heroes come to life.
And they weren't the best wrestlers. They're just fucking cool, dude. That's why they sold merch, and that's why I enjoyed them so much. But, like, if Jeff and Broward didn't go through your things, would they have a bigger run? Probably, yeah, but would we appreciate them as much as we did as we do now?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go through that stuff, and that makes you appreciate them more because, like, oh, there's a human aspect to this. Mm-hmm. Like, not everyone's perfect, dude. Like, you know, when you hear about people who are, like, perfect and have, like, a clean slate, you're like, there has to be something.
They're too squeaky clean, man.
It's like there has to be something behind the scenes that I don't like about you.
Oh, there's some skeletons in those.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I never liked in terms of comic books. I've always hated Superman because he was too goddamn squeaky clean.
Exactly.
I've always like equated that to like pro wrestling and like anything else. Like for example, I'm not a LeBron guy. Mm-hmm. He's always been squeaky clean. Mm-hmm. And now with this Diddy shit, I'm all like, I fucking knew it. There's some shit there.
You're waiting for the bomb to explode.
Yes.
You're like, dude, I hope something fucking happens. I really hope something comes out about you, dude. Like, if you fucking die and there's nothing about it, I'm mean, really fucking mad. I hope something comes out about
One
you, dude.
day, I remember hearing going like, oh, ain't nothing like a Diddy party.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, my God.
You saw that pop back up, you're like, retweet. I knew it. I've known it this whole time.
I fucking can't wait, motherfucker. Where? Someone just posted like, I think the California fires were a work, and I go, oh my God, why? He goes, they just burnt all of Diddy's fucking evidence.
that's so great.
I was like, oh my God,
dude, I don't know. Maybe like it's a Latino thing, but like I just love when someone has like a little like not a huge piece of shit, but like Eddie Kingston, obviously, like we know he probably like he at least robbed like 3 people in his life. Probably, you know what I'm saying? He's probably at least done some shit like that. But I'm like, oh, that's all right. I get it, dude.
He stabbed somebody.
He
stabbed the motherfucker.
He stabbed somebody.
Someone's out there missing a fucking eye because this dude put something.
I'm sure he pistol whipped somebody.
It's what I'm saying. But like, it's like
I'm Eddie Kingston fan myself too, bro.
You mentioned Ring of Honor earlier today.
Yeah.
Did you ever go see him at the old Sayer Fieldhouse?
Dude, so this is my thing. My dad didn't know about Ring of Honor. He knew about Chicago local indies. So I went to like all the Chicago local indies, like Blitz Pro Wrestling, some other, I forget what it was called, some like UWP or some shit like that. When I was like 5 or 6, they took me all to those things. But he didn't know about the bigger ones. He didn't know about like Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate, PW. He didn't know about any of that.
So,
he just knew about the local stuff.
Me and him have talked about like our huge respect for the Briscoes. Mm-hmm. I remember the very first time I ever saw the Briscoes, I thought they were straight thugs. Like, I saw them and I went, these guys have done some criminal shit.
you know what threw me off? When Jay came in with a full dreads when he was bald, I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yes.
I'm like, when did you get dreads?
Yeah. No, I remember seeing them and me and my buddy were
country
like,
gangsters, dude.
Yeah.
Country The way he talks, I'm just like, I know where you used to be when you were a kid, bro. You do not talk about a country kid.
Straight up, not many fucking wrestlers intimidate me. Like, as big as they may be, it's just their characters. I always see beyond that. I go, it's just a character. It's just a character. I never thought they played characters.
No.
That's the scary shit about those motherfuckers.
Same thing with Homicide.
Yes,
same thing with like
I agree.
Yep. You know what I mean? Because like Robert Anthony's like, hey man, Homicide's kind of hard to understand. And I go, oh okay. Like I'm talking to him like, oh no, this guy talks like my uncle. Like I know exactly what the fuck he's saying. Like you just translate it, but in my head I'm like, I know what he's saying, dude.
Yeah, it's scary when you see something like that because you know you kind of go. What they do in the ring, for example, like a Nick Gage.
Yeah.
I probably would never get in the ring with Nick Gage because I'm like, fuck that. I'm too pretty to get cut. But I'm just
dude,
like,
I have a problem. I love bleeding.
You mentioned
dude,
getting color.
I fucking love. I don't know why, but like, I remember the first time I did it. It was a match against Isaiah Velasquez, and they told me how to do it, whatever. So I took 2 Advils. Took a shot of Hennessy and then drank an energy drink, and they're like, "That's gonna get your blood flowing." But I didn't tell anyone why I did this, right? And then, bro, I played right. I'm like, "Oh, nothing's coming out." Then he picks my head up, and then I just see it hit the ground. I go, "Holy!" And I hear him go, "Oh shit!" And he throws me in the ring, and it gets in my eye, and I just feel this energy go from like here to like fucking here, dude. And I'm like, I'm feeling it rush through me. I'm just like, this is insane. Like, I have no like scare like passing out. I'm just like, dude, I feel like on a different level right now.
Adrenaline just went through the
it's
roof.
Going crazy right now. But the crash out's wild. The crash out's I went to work the next day. I have my head wrapped, and like I did my coworker comes in and my head just on my desk like this. And he's like, are you okay? I picked my head up. He said, bandages. He's like, what the fuck happened to you? I was like, and I showed him the picture of like me bleeding. He goes, why are you here?
What do you do for a living?
Yeah, let's see.
I'm a dispatcher.
Okay.
Yeah, for like plumbers, electricians, all that stuff. So I became a dispatcher.
Okay.
So they just looked at you like, what?
Yeah, right. They're like, what the fuck? But what's great thing is, one of my other coworkers at the show, I did that, and they're like, he needs to go home, dude. Like, I saw him. He has no buzz, but he needs to go home and like get his fucking electrolytes up, all this shit. I'm like, yeah, dude.
You mentioned when you walked into the studio that you saw the fork up there.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that match with Greg and
Kyle?
No.
Like,
Greg Murray, you know who him, right? Greg
no,
Murray.
I'm not familiar.
Okay, so he's Moondog.
Oh, okay.
And he bled so much. He told us a story that the very next day he was supposed to have a match, and he showed up, and they're like, "What the fuck are you even doing here?" The people were like afraid of how much blood lost.
Dude, it's like that Eddie and JBL one.
Oh yeah, that was
like,
a hard way.
Where Eddie had like the panic attack because he didn't realize how much he lost. He's like, holy shit, like that's in my mind. That's all I'm thinking. I was like, I want it to be like that.
Yeah, because that was a hard way shot.
Yeah. Dude, that one was. Yeah, it's crazy to think you had a panic attack after
one of
that.
the probably bloodiest matches WWE has ever had. Like,
dude, it was bad. No, it was bad because, like I said, it's hard way. Like
Yeah.
it was just. I don't think it was supposed to be like that, but
No.
it was obviously.
Because didn't JBL hit him with the back of the chair, like the backrest of the chair, and not the actual flat part?
The lip of the thing caught like right in the head, the part it's not supposed to.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what happened to Finn recently, because Finn had like all those stitches, and they had that I think it was something like that, where like some weird spot.
Yeah, you can tell when it's hard way. It bleeds a little bit different.
Yep.
It gets real dark red. It's like, oof, that's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first time bleeding, Danny?
My first, it was a street fight with Jimmy Blaze.
He's the one that cut you open?
Yeah.
Fucking
You did it hard way, or you asked for it?
No, I did it. Yeah. But I did get busted the hard way by rough crossing.
Oh shit!
Took a knee drop right to the eyebrow. Pop open, fucking 5 stitches.
You hear about the Goldust Roddy Piper story?
Oh yeah.
He's like hit me in the eye. He's like, he punched me right in the fucking face. he's like no blood. He's like, I tell him to do it again. He punches me right in the fucking face again. No blood. Yeah. I'm mad.
Yeah. I love that story. That's fucking hilarious.
He's like, he breaks his hand. My eye hurts.
Fucking knuckle breaks.
Yeah, and dude, I'm just dying because he's like holding colors. He gets punched. He's like, God damn it.
I was gonna say, so now recently you've transitioned, so to speak, into something else to add to your another feather in your cap, so to speak. You started to be a partner for Ego's podcast.
Yeah.
So how's that going along for you guys?
So it's wild to think because like me and the other co-host Alfonso, we're like in our 20s, and obviously Ego's like 40, but like he's
87.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you, 1905 is his first match. I'll talk to him all day. But I think his thing was he knew that he needed to bring like new life into it, right? Because like so much, like he was doing the Chicago wrestling thing, which I loved. I appreciated it because I wanted to learn more about Chicago wrestling thing. But he needed something he needed people to bounce off of, right? Mm-hmm. He needs people like to feed off all the time. And we became close after he left freelance, actually. Like, he left freelance after his time when he went back to AEW. And that's when we all got close with him because we started playing Call of Duty together. Then we started becoming, like, actual friends, like personal friends outside of wrestling. And we realized that, like, we bounce off of him because we can go, hey, you're fucking old. Like, your way of thinking is like, you're old as shit, dude. You're like, from the, you know what? He can be like, you're young. Let me explain this to you. So it's a good dynamic. And we get along. Like, we're able to bounce off, me, him, and Alfonso were able to bounce off each other pretty well. And it was more of like, we flowed together rather than like putting 3 people in the room, like, hey, learn to work together. Mm-hmm. It's more like, there's 3 friends just shooting the shit, you know?
Yeah.
We're just
shooting you guys do, because I do listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And you guys do, you bounce off. You guys bounce off each other
and
pretty
like,
good.
It was just, I personally, I don't know if you guys same way. I have a real hard time talking to people. Mm-hmm. Like, I only talk to people in wrestling, but in real life, I just do not want to be bothered. I'm very to myself. I'm very like, I have my small circle of people, and it's very hard to get in my circle. And like, I just don't like going out of my way to talk to people. It's very hard for me to speak. And it's not because I don't like people. It's because I honestly just don't want to be a bother. And there's something like, you can't be that way in wrestling. Like, you need to be able to talk to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, this is another aspect for me to be able to learn how to speak and learn how to talk more openly and like be better at like interview stuff like that and like learn how to just talk freely and like flow with stuff and not like have to be choppy. And
I'll tell you one thing, you've been nothing but talkative today. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude.
No, definitely, man. But no, I do listen, man. I do listen to you guys, man. And you guys got good. You can tell all 3 you got good chemistry together.
I appreciate it. I wish we had a fucking set like this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bro. Ego's basement and dude, garage are not that cool.
It takes a lot of fucking. We spent a pretty good amount of money and money that we don't even have. But dude, every purchase we get, I would always tell my, why the fuck are we doing this again? I'm like, I still don't get it. But then, it evolved over time. We've been doing it a year and a half. So
we still talk about things that we're gonna spend on going forward. Like, hey man, I saw this thing online. Mm-hmm. We need it.
You're trying to talk stuff too. Like, we need it. No, yeah, we do. Because why? But because we need it. It's like, no, we don't. Yeah, no, trust me. It's gonna go better.
Even nothing happens with this, man. Like, it's cool getting to sit with people like yourself, and just shoot the shit and talk, man. Get to know people, man. Like we say, everyone's got a story, man, and we love to hear people's stories.
I bet you guys wish you guys had this when you were coming up.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah.
Back then, it's like, you're not getting on radio, dude.
Right.
You're not getting on radio. Like, you're really not. But like, we live in this day and age now where you guys could do shit. Like, this is why I appreciate people like you guys, other podcasts, because like, I'm not getting on fucking local news and talking, right? But like, people are gonna listen to this and they're gonna figure out who I am, whatever it is. It's like, you guys give a platform that you wish you had when you were coming up to other people.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys get joy out of it, get you guys into it. Because like, for me, it's like, I can learn about people and they may not be the biggest name, but now I know them. So if I meet them in person and go, hey man, I heard you talk about this on the podcast. Like, I'm cool. I like that too. Like, you want to talk about it?
Right.
Now we're friends.
Yeah. This is one of my reasons one of my favorite things about this podcast is getting to meet people that otherwise we probably wouldn't cross circles with. For example, you. Mm-hmm. I told Danny, I'm like, hey man, I reached out to Koda. It was shortly after, like, I think it was when the Chavo match had either concluded or just been announced. I told him, I'm like, I want to reach out to him. Like, he's a Latino. I'm like, I want to bring him on the show. This and that. And like I knew your circles. Like I knew that you knew some of my friends, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time I'm meeting you. You
Exactly.
know. But other than that, like our company, like where we're at, it's really hard sometimes to get some of these guys that are like in the freelance world or in the AAW world, whatnot. So some of these companies, whether they're friends, their promoters may be friends, but some of those workers aren't going to crisscross.
That's
So,
the thing to me. That's my favorite. Like, my other favorite part of wrestling, the melting pot it is, the people it brings you into. Because like, I would have never met half my friends if it wasn't for wrestling, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, because other than wrestling, I didn't know we had anything in common. But
Right.
now I know how much we do have in common. Like, I got like Robert Anthony. I would never ever been friends with him if it wasn't for wrestling. He's 20 years older than me, and
I like how you just threw that out there.
Oh, yeah,
reminding him that he's old.
Oh, dude,
if he's listening to
let me
this
tell
right
you
now.
something.
What's up, ego?
fucking the ego's old, dude. The ego's old, dude. The fucking ego's old.
Can't be
But
saying that, bro. I'm 40 also, man.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't look.
Motherfucker, you're fucking 45, bro.
Yeah, this is like, you guys don't look it. If you look at Robert, he looks it. Right? It's like a tail on him. But like I said, the people it brings you around, because half the friends I would have met, like they live in this part of Illinois, that part of Illinois. We didn't go to the same high school. I have no idea who you are. Like, but when we came to wrestling, it's like, oh, they're like gonna be probably friends for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy thing to think of. Is like I would never like you met Julio or you bring Julio to wrestling.
Dude, Julio and me have been friends since we were like long time.
Exactly, and then you brought him into this. You kind of bring him into the world of.
He
whatever it
loved
is.
wrestling, and I made him basically me and one of my old guys. We used to bring him into like the Congress Theater. He was one of our referees for a long time.
That's what I'm saying. Is that we find people, we make connections. Dude, this guy I went to high school with. Crazy. I went to high school with him for 4 years. We sat at the same lunch table, ate lunch together. Never talked about wrestling. I walk into freelance one day. He's there to start
he's a
training.
wrestler? Oh, no
start
shit.
training.
No shit.
I go, what the fuck are you doing here? He goes, what are you doing here? I'm like, I wrestle here. He goes, you liked wrestling this whole time? I go, I liked wrestling since the day I was fucking born. I just never talked about it. He goes, I liked wrestling ever since I was born. I just never talked about it either. I go, it's crazy to think that we were in high school, you're at the same lunch table, never brought it up. We graduated high school. 3 years later, he shows up, and now we realize that this whole time we've been talking about wrestling.
Check this one out. One of my best friends, who happens to be the godfather of my son. This shows you how much he is as a best friend, right? I met him in sophomore year. I knew who he was in freshman year, but I never spoke to him. And I don't know how to swim, and neither does he. So we're sitting in the shallow end while all the rest of the guys are on the deep end. So we're literally, it's just me and him around a bunch of women. And we're like, fuck, what the fuck? He's like, yeah.
We're not going to talk to the women.
He's all like, well, we don't know how to swim. Well, this sucks. We're the only two dudes in the shallow end. They're making fun of us.
Yeah.
Like, all of our buddies are like, you fucking pussies, this and that. So we're shooting the shit. We're just kind of kicking it back, and we're just talking about random stuff. And somehow the conversation starts about wrestling. So as the conversation, we're sitting in the pool. As the conversation kind of progresses, I stop and I go, all right, man, if this friendship is going to progress, I need to know something real quick. And he goes, what's up? Are you a Bill Goldberg fan? And he goes, no, I think it sucks. All right, cool. We're going to be good, bro. And now he's the godfather of my son.
I wish I could go back to elementary school, because I went to elementary school like 80% Latinos, right? It was crazy. My elementary school, from kindergarten to 8th grade, all the same people. Everyone stood the same school. We all went to the same school. But they all liked wrestling in elementary school. We all talked about it. Huge thing. I wish I can show all these guys I wrestled Chavo fucking Guerrero, because they would probably be like, that's the coolest kid in the school ever, dude. There could be some millionaire like, nah, you got to wrestle Chavo Guerrero. That's fucking cool, dude.
Once in a lifetime right there, man.
Dude. But
No,
like I said, it's a crazy thing, the shit that wrestling brings you to.
It really does, man. It really does, bro. I mean,
You remember that time we were at the cigar lounge with Manny? It's funny right now where he says like, oh, he's like, all these people think I'm like, they're probably millionaires, but think I'm the coolest dude. We're sitting there amongst all. Have you ever heard of Big's Cigar Lounge?
No, I've never heard. I know what Cigar Lounge does, but I haven't heard of that one. No.
It's fucking expensive.
yeah.
Shit.
Fucking expensive. Danny's an actor, and we showed up there with one of his actor buddies, and he invited us, and I'm sitting there. I don't smoke, so I'm just like along for the ride.
Yeah.
They smoke, and I'm looking at the price of some of these cigars. I'm like, fuck that shit. These guys are smoking this and that. Next thing you know, we're surrounded by a bunch of people. We're all just shooting the shit, like talking, acting, talking wrestling, just dumb stuff, right?
We're dressed like this. This is
Yeah.
how we're dressed.
We're not dressed up for this place at all. Next thing you know, they start telling us how they're fucking like like trust fund babies and shit. Like some of these motherfuckers run businesses and
Guys
all
coming in shooting tires and smoking these big
and they
expensive
think
cigars.
we're the coolest motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, when we leave here, we're poor. But you fucking.
The thing to me is, man, I'd rather be really rich with life experience than be really rich, like, you know, I'd rather be rich for money. But, like, and they, like, when you hit, like, I bet some of your favorite stories are hitting the road with the boys. Like, those road stories are probably the best thing ever,
gold,
right?
man.
I'm going to live with those for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
By the time I'm 50, being like, I got to go to Philadelphia and have, like, this fun time with my friends and fucking have this and that. And, like, that's going to be a memory where I'm rich with for the rest of my life. Like, that's the stuff that is amazing to me. You know, just the stories you come along with the guys, stuff like that.
Like you said, man, pro wrestling is fucking great,
Dude,
man.
it's just fun. It's great.
It really is, man. But no, bro, I mean, thanks for coming and hanging out with us today, man.
Of course, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We hope you had a good time here with us, man.
Oh, dude, awesome, bro.
I got quick random story since you brought it up. We were ready to close up shop here, but you mentioned road stories.
I'm ready for these. I love road stories.
What's your favorite road story with the boys?
So,
and name names. We want people to get like, oh, fucking notice for this shit.
so we're on this road trip, right? It's me, Davey Bang, August Matthews, and Storm Grayson. And, well, actually, listen, this is better. So this one's me, Cole Radrick, Davey Bang, August Matthews, driving from, well, we're in Chicago. We have to go pick up Cole Radrick in Indiana and then drive to Philadelphia for a show, right? I'm not booked, but I'm along for the ride, right? You know, hop in the car, whatever it is, right? So, Davey Bang has this real bad habit of falling asleep in every fucking car ride. Every single car ride. 20 minutes in, out like a light. Legit. He, like, fast travels to booking. It's like a fucking video game for him, dude. It's fucking hilarious, right?
When I wake up, I'll be in the ring.
Dude, so I'm like, all right, I'll start the drive. It's my car. I'll start the drive, right? We go pick up Cole Radrick. Davey's already fucking sleeping in the car, right? Pick up Cole Radrick. It's like 3 hours to Indy where he's at. So we then pick him up. He instantly goes out like a fucking light in the car. I go, okay, he just got home from a flight. He's going from fucking here to we're driving him to Philly. Cool, right? So just me and August Matthews up, whatever. And then I'm realizing I'm 9 hours into this fucking drive of me straight. And then I realize I'm 12 hours in, right? We're an hour away from the venue, and these guys start fucking with me. They start going, "Hey, you tired? You want to switch out? You want to switch out? You want to switch out?" They're like, "You're driving kind of funny now." I'm like, now it's like personal in my head, like it's personal. Like I'm getting to the fucking venue off this straight drive, and the best part is we pull over and I move it's a stupid rib, but I move the car all the time to a different point than where we parked at. So I just watch him come out like the rest stop, and they're just like looking around. They're just like, Davey Bang's the best because he's always last coming out, but he's like looking around the middle of the street, and we see him pull out his phone and stand in the middle of, like the gas pumps and call us. He's like, where'd you guys go? And then we're driving back, snowstorm hits, and Davey gets in the car. He starts driving. 10 minutes in, just.
He's falling asleep.
I'm like, are you fucking serious? You slept the whole car ride. We're 10 minutes in, and August in the passenger goes, "Wake up!" He's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And then again, like I just feel it, and then August. I just hear August goes, "Pull the fuck over! Get out the fucking pad! Get off the driver's seat! We're switching." And then August just sitting there, it's like pissed off driving. Davey's in the passenger. Goes out again like a fucking light, dude. Just right back to sleep, dude, on the road. I was like,
fucking
this guy
worked, you guys.
Dude, I'm like, this guy can't save his fucking life,
Yeah, he did.
dude.
He didn't want to drive his.
It's the worst. Thank God we never been in an accident or anything in the car rides. We've only had like close calls. We're like, oh, you know what? No, this one's better. It's a back to a Davey Bang one. We're coming back from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Me, Davey Bang, August Matthews, Chico Suave. We're in a minivan. And Davey's driving, Chico's passenger, me and August are in the back seats, right? We're driving. We get to a construction zone and it says, like, it goes down to 45, right? So, like, all right, whatever. Davey's driving, and he's doing, like, 65. And I see a cop, right? And the lights are off. Then I see him flash, like, the brake lights hit. So I'm like, oh, he's going in to drive. Like, and I know that means he's going to drive. And we pass the the cop, and I see him hop behind us, and she goes, "Hey, Dave, there's a cop behind you. Like, slow down, right?" Davey Bang looks at Chico Suave, and he goes, "Fuck 12," and steps on the gas and hits and goes faster. Dude, lights come on. Woo! We go, "What the fuck was that?" And then he goes, "I thought you guys were ribbing me." Bro, I go, "Why the fuck would I rib you on that?" Bro, the cop comes up. The cop just goes, "What was that?" And I'm just like, this guy's no. So then we're pulled over. We're sitting there. The cop comes up to the fucking window. He goes, "I smell weed." I go, "Fuck," right? He's like, "I just want you guys to know weed's illegal in Philadelphia." He goes, "I smell weed though." And we're like, "There's no weed in the car. Like, we're no weed, whatever." And he goes, "What's that right there?" And he points, and Chico Suave on his shirt had a pistachio thing. He's like, "It's pistachio." It's like, we're safe, right? Cop leaves, comes back. We're like, "All right, we're good." He goes, "Guys, I smell weed." He goes, "So either you guys give me the weed, or I'm gonna get the canine out here." I go, "Motherfucker." So I'm like, "All right." I was like, "All right, I have weed in my bag, in the trunk, in a case, in a dispensary case." So like, I was like, "I'll give that up," right? So I'm like, "I go to the back seat." He takes my weed, he opens it, he puts it on the floor, and he smushes it with his foot. He just like, play stupid games, get stupid results. I was like, fuck, right? So he lets us go. We drive out, and August reaches in his jacket pocket. He goes, "Oh, I had the weed on me right here." I just go, "Bro, you could have gave him that fucking little bag while I had all this more that he definitely couldn't have smelled from the trunk." And then the best part of the story is, when he comes back, he asks Davey Banks, like, "Do you speak English?" And Davey's like, "Yeah." And he hands him back his ticket, and on the ratio, or whatever it says Samoan/Pacific Islander. Bro, and I just start dying, bro. Bro, I was like, "What the fuck?" All because Davey didn't know how to fucking just do a regular
brother.
The best thing is him like looking at Chico Suave in the eyes going, "Fuck 12," and then stepping on the gas. I was like, anyone who knows Davey Bang, he is not that type of person. So him saying "fuck 12," he definitely thought it was a joke, and then realized, but it was so fucking funny.
When you were talking about like, dude, like falling asleep on the road, I just remembered of Mecha Wolf. Mecha Wolf, all the road trips that we ever took with a guy, he refused to drive. So whenever he would be on the road, he'd like swerve and things like that. And I'm like, he's fucking working you, man. And he'd be in the back, high as shit, like, "Nah, bruh, I don't drive, bro."
Oh man,
that was a great story, man.
No, thank you again, bro, for coming and hanging out with us, man. Before we head up out of here, any last things you want to say?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on socials, it's Koda_Hernandez on Instagram. On Twitter, it's Koda Hernandez 01. Obviously, we got freelance coming up on the 24th. If you guys want to come out, please do. It's gonna be a good show. We got Danhausen on it. If you are inspiring to be a pro wrestler, go for it, man. I think the worst thing a lot of us have is fear to like fail at it, but if you don't try, you failed already. So we got the Freelance Wrestling Academy, or we got Chicago Wrestling Center, which is now Mustafa Ali's school. Both amazing schools. Please look at both of them if you want to start to be a pro wrestler. Don't let fear get into you. Shout out to these two guys for having me on. Obviously, please listen to all the future episodes, past episodes. And if you'd want to, the Wrestling Friends are some of my homies. Follow them on Instagram. And then Stoners and Stoners, which is a clothing brand that one of my homies in New York runs. He makes stoner-inspired like wrestling memorabilia. Like, I have a shirt that says La Sparka, and it's La Parka holding a bong. So yeah, it's pretty fire. So yeah, just follow those people, man, and support your local stuff, man. Bands, taco shops, fucking Mexican restaurants, Chinese place, local stuff, man. Get out there, because like the big corporations got the money, but man, the local, that's where the love is. So like, support your local stuff, man.
Awesome. Much love and respect to that, man. Yeah. Absolutely, man. So big thanks again to Koda Hernandez for coming and hanging out with us today. Big thanks to our sponsors, the Law Office of Christopher Hoff and a Taco Villa in Villa Park. Big shout out to Chris and Bear Mysterio. Appreciate y'all, fellas. And don't forget, head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees. Grab yourself a t-shirt. Either Bad Hombre Cartel, the one Javier's wearing right now, or Salud Cabrones podcast, or get yourself a Koda Hernandez shirt, as well. Shit, why not?
Yeah, why not?
But no, thank you all for tuning in. Koda, this is the part of the episode where we sign off with a toast. We raise up our beverages, and we just say, Salud Cabrones. So when you're ready, 1, 2, 3. Salud Cabrones! We out.